Hello, hello, and welcome to my playthrough of Lost Wiki, Kozlovka. It is on the Steam page. It's a game where you explore a Wikipedia-like database and solve a small-town mystery in Eastern Europe. Step into the shoes of a journalist in the 90s as you sprawl through articles and uncover the secrets that have been laid in front of you. This game came out in March this year, so it is a completely new game, and as far as I can see, it is the only game from these developers. Yari the Man is the developer and publisher. So, yeah, let's see. No, I do not want the ghosting. I know that the CRT effect is there to make it look older, but we'll try. But I might not be able to do it because it'll hurt my poor little eyes. So we'll see. Language, English, yeah. This is a work of fiction. Names, character, businesses, places, events, and incidents are either fictional or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. Okay, so I thought this would be perfect today. I was in a bit of a detective-y mood, and it's also a pretty short game. It's about 1.5 to 2 hours from what I could gather from looking it up. So let's jump into it. 1991 to 1995, damn. Oh, mail. Lysensko, potential job in Kozlovka. I've read your articles and I think you can notice what others miss. You're thorough and, more importantly, careful. That's what I need. I've granted you limited access to the database. It holds more than enough if you know where to look. Okay, and then there's attachments. Okay. Use the hyperlinks to navigate around the database. Drag the right words into the report. Oh. When you are satisfied with your conclusions, submit the findings to me. I will review them. Okay. So that's just that. Okay, so we can look at that at any time. Cool. No images. Enter your system code followed by the local area code. Oh, okay. Okay, so we need to figure this out then. Something is a quiet town in Sarnava. It is beside the something, a vibrant woodland with a very distinct ecosystem. At the heart of the forest, a tall tree stands proud and locals refer to as the something. The town itself has a thriving something business, one which boasts bountiful harvests and provides food sustainability. Okay. Ah, so we had one word already. Cool. Kozlovka is a quiet town in Sarnava. Okay, so let's go to the internet then. Yeah. Kozlovka is a small town located in the eastern region of Cernava, nestled at the edge of the Bielowica forest. The Bielowica forest is located next to the town of Kozlovka. Okay. Known for its distinctive natural features, it is home to an ancient tree, the Draken Oak. At the heart of the forest. Okay. It is also home to a unique and rare fungus, symbiotic ergot. Oh. Okay. Oh, nice. Now we have that picture if we need it. Cool. This. A town that boasts in agricultural achievements with incredible fertile soil, not soul, and thriving agriculture. Kozlovka was founded in 1887 and survived significant challenges, including German occupation during World War II and the later Soviet influence. Nice. Oh, so it only keeps the one picture. Okay, good to know. Smith. Yeah, Kozlovka is a quiet town in Sarnova. Besides a Bielowica forest, a vibrant woodland with a very distinct ecosystem. At the heart of the forest, a tall tree stands proud, that locals refer to as the Draken Oak. The town itself has a thriving agriculture business and on which boasts bountiful harvest and provides food sustainability. Need more than this. You found something, but not enough. If you want to keep going, you'll need to understand where this place began. Look for patterns and connections. The flow chart is a tool, not a solution. Follow the threads, not the labels. Follow the threads, not the labels. Okay. Okay, let's see. Engraved on the tree there are 2 runes. So if you go to the forest and Draken Oak, there we go. Quercus dracensis, Draken Oak, is a rare and ancient tree in the Bielowica forest. The carving on the trunk was said to be pagan tradition to honor the agricultural season. It is protected by the Cernavian government in 1991 after establishing their independence. The tree is the primary host for the fungus symbiotic ergot. Okay, engraved on the tree there are 2 runes. The top being. So is this something we can put in like this or no? Press the full screen button on the corner of the inner, hold and move, scroll to zoom, alternately use the plus and minus button. Oh, okay. So I can't put that in. Okay, we need to find those somewhere else, I guess. Also, what is this? Is that the fungus? Oh. So Navian Cultural Preservation Initiative passcode required. Oh. Year of Cernava independence. Oh, we have that. Okay. That was 1887. Okay, 1887. Oh, Sonova Independence. Maybe that's not the same then. Hang on. No, that was founded. Okay, I need to get my pen and paper. So we need year of independence. And we need date of winter festival. Okay, so that I can remember. Okay. This article has been modified from an earlier entry. Okay, Battle of the Forest. From 1941 to 1944, Kozlovka was occupied by the Germans and was a main source of food supply for the battalions occupying the region. In June of 1944, a huge offensive was launched, cornering the Nazis in the Białowieża forest. Dozens of lives were lost to the forest, which ended in a Soviet victory. Afterwards, Sarnava declared independence in 1991. Nice. Excuse me. Okay, that was the winter festival. Kozlovka is most known for its agricultural achievements. This yearly yield supplies around 10% of the food in Sarnava. Their medicinal herbs are also known to be overtly potent. Even with their success, there have been pushes to industrialize their practices, most notably the modern farming initiative proposed in the 90s. Okay. So we need the two symbols. The locals clearly hold spiritual beliefs tied to the forest. These beliefs are not unfounded, for there are colonies of around the tree. The fungus is likely the cause. Okay, so we need the fungus name again. Yeah, I feel like I'm going somewhere I don't have to, so here we go. Okay, 1991. 1 year before my birth. There we go. Sarnavian Cultural Preservation Initiative. This initiative started in 1991 when Sarnava gained its independence. Its purpose was to preserve sites and documents of cultural significance. See below the list of topics related to the said CPI. Slavic rune, please. Sarnavians have an Eastern Slavic ancestry and foreign pagans' beliefs, some of which come in the form of runes. Few locals, like the witch, still believes they hold power. Ooh. The witch is a local shaman who owns a small shop on Kozlovka High Street. She is most known for her appearance with her iconic one bloodshot eye. Even as a pillar of Kozlovka's culture, there is a decline in interest for ancient pagan rituals. As a tourist, you can get her signature, spiritual chalk. Spiritual chalk is a flagship product of the witch, a local shaman. It is advertised to be able to commune with the surrounding nature and the souls of those who perished with rune symbols. Traditionally, it is a woman's job to mark sites with rune symbols, as many did in the past. Oh, so that's what's at the bottom of the tree, because those are at the bottom, isn't it? Several of them. Okay. This Slavic rune is a symbol of fertility. Tied to bountiful harvest, it is often carved onto tools or boundary stones. So that could be... I don't remember what it looked like now. Let's go one back. Yeah, it's that one. Okay, and then there's a squiggly squiggle. Slavic rune. This one, twin glyph. The two interwoven lines represent duality, growth and decay, renewal and remembrance. Some rural communities believe that this Slavic rune was a symbol of transition rather than the end. Engraved on the tree there were two runes, the top being Semina's cross and the bottom being twin glyph. The locals clearly hold spiritual beliefs tied to the forest. These beliefs are not unfounded, for there are colonies of symbiotic ergo around the tree. The fungus is likely the cause of the town's agricultural success. The real brief. Thank you. I apologize for being cautious. I needed to know you were the right person for the job. I haven't been fully honest with you. This isn't just research. Someone I cared about disappeared in the early 90s. Official records are incomplete and inconsistent. Most people stopped asking. I didn't. Okay. There was a string of disappearances. Okay. Someone was also a victim. It was because of this that something was scrapped. The victim's belongings were found in the something, which is where they were presumed to have met their ends. Okay. Town ledger. No hint available. Ooh. Okay, let's maybe look through this then, I don't know. The Modern Farming Initiative was proposed by Mayor Jan Dragunov in 1991 to revise Kozlovka's agricultural practices. It was approved by the Sarnavian government after achieving independence in the same year. Their proposal involved Dr. Kazimir Ostrovsky, who was invited to the town to undergo research. The proposal was ultimately scrapped in 1992. Okay, so this doesn't have anything to do, because this is 1990. Dr. Kazimir Ostrovsky is a Russian mycologist who specialized in the study of rare fungi. He moved to Sarnova and dedicated most of his 30-year career studying the symbiotic ergo. He was invited to Kozlovka as part of the Modern Farming Initiative, primarily researching the ecosystem in the Bielowieza forest. Bielowieza. Yeah, I have no idea. Jan Dragunov is the current mayor of Kozlovka. He came into mayorship after he superseded his father Attila Dragunov in 1992. He was best known for proposing the Modern Farming Initiative, okay, where he invited the doctor. Okay. Attila Dragunov was the mayor of Kozlovka from 1945 to 1992. He was best known for establishing the Kozlovka Kozlovka police force and his affection for bisons. Okay. Ooh, nice. He was superseded by his son Jan Dragunov when he mysteriously vanished as part of the tragedy commonly known as the 90s disappearance. Most notably, Attila Dragunov. 15 people vanished from Kozlovka over the course of 2 months in the summer of 1992. Oh, it says the 90s, not 90. Okay. Attila Dragunov was among the missing and as well as one non-local. The investigation, led by Jan Dragunov, ran cold after a year, having only found a few items from several victims. This was the most recent tragedy that the town had to endure. No hint for this either. Would it be 1992 when it happened? No, okay. I was hoping there would be more here. There's that symbol. Should probably read what that symbol means. Only found a few items from several victims. As well as one non-local, which is probably his friend then. Wasn't that one, was it? It was this. Associated with the god of thunder, this Slavic rune was believed to offer protection against misfortune and ill omens. Oh. Forgiveness and peace. Family lineage and ancestral blessings frequently found on household objects. Huh. Oh. Let's read more about this then, I guess. Claviceps symbiotica, symbiotic ergo, is a unique fungus in the Bialowieza forest that relies on a symbiotic relationship with their plant host, the dragon oak. The fungus known to cause extraordinary fertility of the surrounding land. Dr. Casimir Ostrovsky was the leading expert in the symbiotic ergo. Though uncommon, it can also be used as medicinal herb. Ironically, due to Kozlovka's incredibly fertile soil, the medicinal herbs grown in the area are too potent for use and are not approved by the government. Oh. However, some locals vouch for their effectiveness, such as a local pharmacist, Dr. Mstislav Dragunov, and the witch, although she advocates more for its use in ancient pagan rituals. Yeah, we read this. That's what we just looked at. Dr. Mstislav Dragunov is an accomplished medical doctor and a local pharmacist of Kozlovka. He was the first to formulate a medicine using the local colony of symbiotic ergot. No one has been able to replace his success. He is a vocal advocate of using Kozlovka's medicinal herb for nationwide medicine use. Okay. Article has been modified. Oh, we can go back. That's so nice. Okay. Yeah. Oh my god. No. Okay. Cancel. Bookmarked. Discovered links, yeah. Dragunov family. Which we need the date of the winter festival. That's what we needed. Winter festival, and that's the ledger. Winter festival. Oh, there's where I can bookmark stuff. Cool. Yeah, I've only found this. Hmm. 15 people over a course of 2 months in the summer of 1992. We're gonna cold after a year. Yeah, this is the thunder thing that is supposed to be protection. The victims' belongings were found. Were they presumed to? They probably got found in the Forest, let's be honest. What could this be, though? Also, how do I know what my system code is? Excuse me? Yeah, there's nothing else here. There's nothing here other than the town ledger, which is locked. Slavic rune symbols, which I've looked at. This is the one, protection against misfortune and ill omens. Yeah, spiritual chalk, but then it's at that end. It's weird though that it didn't start being good until, what is this, 1890? And then all of a sudden it shot up. I would think 1870 and then 80 around here, 90, 1900, 1910, 20, 30, yeah. So 1890, maybe that could be one? No, not that one at least. No. Feel like I'm missing something. Let's check all of this to make sure there's nothing I can click further. No. I haven't seen anything about the winter festival, have I? The proposal was ultimately scrapped. Was also a victim of the disappearance. It was because of this that's the... Oh. Hang on. Is that your friend? Which was also victim. Which is by... it was because of this that the modern farming initiative was scrapped. The victim's belongings were found in... Well, let's be honest, probably in the forest. Okay. So that's how I need to think. It's not going to tell me completely outright. It gives me the clues in between that it was scrapped, and so he was obviously the one who disappeared. In 1990s, there were a string of disappearances, most notably Attila Dragunov. Dr. Kazimir Ostrovsky was also a victim of the disappearance. It was because of this that the modern farming initiative was scrapped. The victims' belongings were found in the Bialowieza forest, which is where they were presumed to have met their ends. Is that correct? Dig deeper. I can't believe they were so close to the town. This changes a lot of things. I need you to investigate further. By now you must have tried to access our tragedy page. Yeah, we normally don't show this to the public, but I'll make an exception. Oh, nice. Thank you. That'll be the most helpful. Okay, for a small town, had a fair share of tragedies. Among them coincides with sudden spikes in agricultural yield, from earliest to latest. Those are the spikes I looked at. Coincidentally, these tragedies were all committed in the forest. Okay, request for access. Dear Wola, thank you for contacting the town hall. After considering your close relationship with the governing bodies, your request to access the article Kozlovka Tragedies has been approved. Below is one-time code to access the page. 7328. Okay, so one time. So if I leave, I can't use it again. Kozlovka Tragedies is code 7328. Okay. Oh. Nice. Okay. For an uneventful town, Kozlovka has had a fair share of tragedies throughout its history. See below the list of notable incidents. The 90s, there's disappearance, yeah. I read about that. Summer plague. In August 1990, an unusual wave of deaths spread across the town. Most victims had pre-existing medical conditions and were found deceased in their homes. Postmortems revealed unidentified fungal matter within the bloodstream, suspected at first to be a fast-moving contagion. The tragedy ended as suddenly as it began. animal killings. In 1965, a tragedy occurred when locals were reporting their pets missing to the authorities. It was revealed that dozens of animals were found mutilated at the foot of the Draken Oak. Although the investigation was quickly resolved, the bodies were proven difficult to retrieve due to them decaying at a faster rate in the soil. Huh. Yeah, so it seems like people are that the townspeople might be sacrificing people to have a bountiful harvest. Battle of the Forest, I read that. Yeah. Festival. Ooh, festival, I need that. In 1982, dozens of locals were killed during the winter festival. The culprit was caught murdering festival attendees in front of the Draken Oak. When cornered, the culprit slit their own throat and joined their victims at the foot of the tree. This is the earliest tragedy recorded in Kozlovka. Sunspike in agricultural. So I'm gonna write that down. Not 19. We're in 1892. Okay. The winter festival occurs every year on the 15th of December. Nice. The festival celebrated the hardship between people endured through the years. Wives would take up their husband's tool as a sign of kinship and equal footing. The holiday is no longer celebrated since the massacre in 1892. It says committed in, so it has to be in the forest. Because if it said committed at, it could be the Draken Oak. So... no. Do I not need the years? Am I just supposed to put in the festival massacre? That was the first one. This is the earliest, yeah. From 1941 to 1944, the Kozlovka was occupied. Huge offensive launched cornering. Dozens of lives were lost. Maybe? No, I think it's the animal killings. And then the summer plague? Or is the killings not? Might be the summer plague and the... Oh, really? Huh. Maybe this is the tree. Okay, let's look at... Hang on. What was I gonna look at? Agriculture. Please. Thank you. So you have a spike in what seems like the 1890s, which is the first one, which is 1892. So that is definitely the festival. And then you have a spike in the 1940s. So I guess that's... yeah, seems like 1945 maybe. So if we go back, so it's the Battle of the Forest, and then the latest was in 1992 basically. Yeah, so it's the disappearances. Okay, and then we need to get it back to this. There we go. Yeah, okay. For a small town, Kozlovka had its fair share of tragedies. Among them, these are the tragedies that coincide with sudden spikes in Kozlovka's agricultural yield from earliest to latest. The festival massacre, Battle of the Forest, and a 90s disappearance. Coincidentally, these tragedies were all committed in the Bialowieza forest. Redacted bypass. Your findings have been more than helpful. They're disturbing. This pattern we're uncovering, it's not random. Someone knew. Someone let it happen. You must have redacted bypass installed on your system like any good journalist. It's been a while since it has been prohibited by the government, so here's a refresher on how to access it. Oh god, okay. In order to enable redacted bypass, you must first have your system code. You can find this in your computer system. Oh, okay, so I need my system code, which is... Okay, so... Okay, and then you will have to, you will need the local area code of the city you like to bypass. You can find these in all addresses. One more time. You will need the local area code of the city you like to bypass. You can find these in all addresses. Okay. So we need local area code. And then there's a heading code as well. Which the heading code is letters and the local area code is numbers. Okay. I think I might have to quit and go back in to see the thingy. Yeah, 342. There we go. 342. There we go. Yeah, so 123, 123. Yeah, so my system code is 342. Does that keep? It sure don't. Okay. And then we need the area code, which you can find in any address. Find in all addresses. Yeah. But where do I find an address? Of the government's disapproval of their product, something caused a tragedy. Of something. Because of this, something proposed the something to abandon any use of the something. Okay, we have that now though, so we can 15th of December. Kozlovka was founded by Bohdan Dragunov and Alina Dragunova. The story goes that their love guided them to this plot of land in hopes of starting anew as a family. A memorial was erected to honor the family, which includes the quote that reads, "For the loss of a few there is still many." Bohdan Dragunov was founding member of Kozlovka. Originally a carpenter, his career shifted to farming after having their first child, who was born sickly. He was famous for being a terrible farmer, but nevertheless persevered. He was always devout to his wife and has famously said to have borrowed her strength in times of need. Alina Dragunova was a founding member of Kozlovka. She was incredibly spiritual and set up the winter festival as her way of celebrating her husband's crops. The festival attracted dozens of people whose families make up Kozlovka today. She was always devout to her husband and was known in the community to set everything aside for the sake of her family. Okay. How do I get a area code though? Local area code of the city you like to bypass. You can find these in all addresses. So is this the local area code? Well, I might as well just try it. But I doubt it. Wouldn't make it that easy. 342 321. Yeah. I didn't think so. Oh, that's a 7. I thought it was a T or something. So it is not just letters, actually. Where do I get... Where do I get a address? You can find these in all addresses. I think I need the town ledger for that. But I don't have a code for the town ledger. And it doesn't give me a hint either. Or... Okay. No hint available. Then how am I supposed to find addresses if I can't get into the ledger? I tried 1992, didn't I? Yeah. $1945? For his dad? Maybe? No? What the hell then? After the government's disapproval of their product, yeah, I know. I need a hint. Give me a hint, please. Also, let's save again. Yes, please. There will be mentions that do not show up in the flowchart. What are you asked to uncover? Have you checked the attachments? Did you try using the redacted bypass? Yeah, I don't know how to get into it. Having given yourself 5 minutes to think. Rude. I doubt that this is correct. You will awaken, or the article is part of a solution. Okay. So this is part of the solution. Okay. But it's not what I need. I need to get into that other thing. Okay, so the government disapproval of the product caused the tragedy. Summer plague. Because of this, someone proposed the something to abandon any use of the something. Okay. Yeah. Because of this, someone proposed the doctor to abandon any use of the symbiotic. Hang on. No, him. And he's the leading. No, okay. After the government disapproval of their product, symbiotic ergo caused the tragedy summer plague. Actually, it might be a name there. The government's disapproval of the product, Dr. Matislav Dragunov caused the tragedy. No, that doesn't fit. Okay, he's not part of the answer. Okay. After the government disapproval of their product, symbiotic ergo caused the tragedy summer plague. Of their product. Because of this, Jan Dragunov proposed the doctor to abandon any use of it. What here can I use? Is it just because you have Jan Dragunov here? Hmm. I don't quite get this sentence. After the government's disapproval of their product, something caused the tragedy of summer plague, which I would have thought was the... Yeah, fungal. Hmm. What product? Is it really not this? Hmm. No, not him. After government's disapproval of their product, Dr. Dragunov caused the tragedy summer plague. Because of this, Jan Dragunov proposed to Doctor to abandon any use of the symbiotic ergo. Hmm. I feel like this makes sense though. After the government's disapproval of their product, symbiotic ergo caused the tragedy summer plague. I think it's the other way around though. I think it is like this, but it doesn't... Yeah, I didn't think so. Huh. This is hard. I think I need to look it up. Which sucks, but I'm really stuck right now. Okay, so the redacted bypass. As the information tells us, the password is the system code followed by the local area code. The system code can be found by clicking the mushroom. Oh, I could have just... Ow. Didn't have to... Okay. Okay. The local area code can be found on the letter attachment from Town Hall. Oh! Oh. From Town Hall. Where was that? Oh, hang on. Oh, 451. Oh, okay. That's all I needed. Thank you. I don't need anything else. That's all I needed. How to get that? That's what I needed, you little shithead. Okay, 342. 2, and then 451. There we go. That's all I needed. Welcome to the redacted bypass. With this program, you can access data from the articles that have been previously modified by local authorities. Nice. Okay. Vocal about his disapproval of the use of symbiotic ergo. After the plague, he launched a modern farming initiative with the primary goal of phasing out the fungi from use. Yeah, which is... disapproval of their product. Medicinal herbs caused a tragedy because of this. To abandon the use. Yeah, so that makes sense. Oh, I need to go back. Yeah, return. More potent version of his medicine, but failed safety test in the subsequent year and was not approved by the government. Okay. Where is it there? Yeah, because there's not much saying here. The victims were frequent patrons of Dr. Matslav Dragunov, who regularly complained that standard medicine would not help people with such long-standing medical conditions. After a swift investigation, the police said there was no correlation. Really? This should be correct, though. He proposed that Maslov Dragunov to abandon any use of the symbiotic ergo. That should be correct. Right? Yeah, he was vocal about his disapproval of the symbiotic ergo. After the plague, he launched the Modern Farming Initiative with the primary goal of phasing out the fungi. Yeah. Oh, he proposed the farming initiative. Okay, and then... Okay. Because of this, Jan proposed the Modern Farming Initiative to abandon any use of the symbiotic ergo. So it's probably the symbiotic ergo twice then. Okay. No. No, this is where we put in the doctor. Yeah, I thought there was supposed to be a doctor's name there. Let's see if I'm correct. Yeah. Okay, we got there. After the government's disapproval of their product, yeah, because it says their product, so I was like, that makes sense that there would be a name. Dr. Mstislav Dragunov caused the tragedy, summer plague. Because of this, Jan Dragunov proposed the Modern Farming Initiative to abandon any use of the symbiotic ergo. Yeah, so that makes much more sense when I was able to read the changed stuff. Then I was able to piece it together that he made the initiative to get rid of the fungi. Family ties. Mstislav is a good man, but I knew his ambitions would get to him. To think he risked innocent lives. I may have found something that is of use. What's inside is sensitive. Handle it accordingly. I'll continue digging around for more material. Picture. To whom it may concern, as you may know, it has been 3 months since our mayor went missing. He was dear to our hearts. Yes, this happened in 1992 when he disappeared and the son took over. But alas, we must come together and continue running the town. The control of the Kozlovka police force and its public database will be transferred to his son, Jan Dragunov, and he will be taking the reins as mayor of the town. With that, the passcode to the town ledger has been changed. It is now the heading code of the town hall. Okay. Heading town of the town hall. Can I find that in a picture maybe? Oh, someone's true name is something. They were responsible for the tragedy. They frequently returned to the site of the tragedy to carve the rune something onto the something. Okay. That's the bison that what was his name? Atlia? Yeah. He loved bisons. So is this the header then? But that's a K. 03. Yeah. Obviously this is Russian, so you know. Town ledger has been changed. It is now the heading code of the town hall. Okay. Can we find that somewhere then? Because that's what I don't like. It disappears when like these they disappear. I would really like to look at the previous one that was the town hall. Let me where is that? The town hall thingy? This one? Okay. Town hall management. Okay. I don't see a header here. Two different. 7 Mira Street, Kozlovka set and hang on. Yeah, so it's 4 town ledger. Could it be 4516? No, okay. Let me read what it says again. With the passcode to the town ledger has been changed, it is now the heading code of the town hall. Yeah, so the heading thingy, which is this. Right? I wrote that down. Yeah, that's the heading code. But that's NW6. Hmm. And I need 4. Because this is the heading. Yeah, because this is the area code and this is the heading. No. Yeah. Okay. So north is 0, 0, 0. Northeast is 0, 45. Okay, so let me find that first then. It is the heading code. It is NW6. NW6. Okay. There. No. Where was it? There. NW6. It doesn't say NW though. It says N and E, E and SE. How do I find out what W is? So N is 0, 0, 0, and E is 0, 45. So it's 45. So that's east, west is the other. That's 15 more degrees, isn't it? No. My brain in math. 45 and 45 is 90. Okay. And 90 is 180, but the next one is SE, which is 135. So that's 90 plus 45, okay. So this is 45 plus 0, obviously, which is 45. And then 45 plus 45 is 90. And then 90 plus 45 is 135. So if it goes that way, so okay, I need to make a compass so I can see it better. So we're north, we're east, west and south. So if we're going that way, then it's northeast is between here. Okay. So north. But I don't quite get it, because if it's 45 and 45 becomes 90, that's fine. And 45 and 90 becomes 135. Then how does it go from 0 to 45? But just let's go with that then, I guess. So that's 90, 135. So that's east, southeast, 135. South should then be... Okay, hang on. South should then be 90 plus 135, right? So that's 225. Southwest is then 225 plus 135, which is 360. Right? Yeah, it should be. And then it's 225 plus 360, which is 585. 85. 585 plus 360 is 945. So that's 945, and do we then add on this afterwards? So, not you. Not you either. Here. So if it's 945, 6. No. Sure, are we sure? Nine 45, 6? No! Okay, then I need to look it up. Okay, dig deeper, yeah. So, from the redacted bypass readme attached, the previous email, we know that northwest refers to a compass point northwest, yeah. Imagine the compass points on the circle with north at the top at 0 degrees. Northwest equates to 315? Wait, what? Huh? Huh? No, it wouldn't be. Because it's going this way. It's going from north to east. So if northeast is 045, then northwest can't be 315? How do you get to that? I thought we were adding. Oh. We're not adding. We're just... Oh, because east is 90 degrees. 45. Oh. Overthinking it. Okay, it's 3, 1... Oh. 3, 1, 5, and 6. Damn, overthinking much. Okay. This ledger details the family that governs the town of Kozlovka. See below the list of family members. Okay, let's get rid of a little bit of stuff. Okay, so someone's true name. Doesn't look like that's anything else. Lilia is the adoptive elder sister of Attila and Mstislav Dragunov. Oh yeah, because they are brothers. Oh, I didn't even put that together. 1963. Yeah, and she still has that red. Huh. So she's the adoptive elder sister. So Lilia's... no, the witch's real name. Hang on. Yeah, The witch's true name is Lilia. They were responsible for the tragedy. Although she acted more as a caregiver to the two boys rather than a sibling, not much is known about her besides reports of her eccentric personality. In 1965, the Dragunov family announced that she had run away, though no investigation was held. In 1965 she ran away, and this was in 1963. What happened in those years again? Don't have anything on this. Okay, so I need to look that up. 1963 is the picture of Lilia, and 1965 she was reported to have run away. Okay. Vola Dragunova is mother of Jan Dragunov. She was proud mother and adamantly supported Jan's mayorship after her husband's disappearance. Although she no longer uses their last name, she still has close connections with the family. Okay. Jan, his father, yeah. Huh. We need to put that in here because it's been modified. Her brother pursued medicine after being inspired by her childhood stories of being sickly, one which damaged her eye, although it was more of a morbid fascination of her condition than a drive to help her. Okay. I'm just gonna check all of them. There was no sheriff, and so the mayor was responsible for leading investigations. Upon appointing himself sheriff, he stated, "As long as I draw breath, I shall keep this town thriving. Know that I will do what's best for Kozlovka." Okay. Non's the more potent version, yeah. We check that one. Oh, yeah, there is no redacted. Sorry. And I've read this one as well, I'm pretty sure, so... Oh, I'm getting hungry. Yeah. Okay. That's plague. 1965. Yeah, so she was responsible for the animal killings. They frequently returned to the site of the tragedy to carve the rune on onto the Draken Oak. The rune, yeah. Let's look at the oak first, because it's... yeah, this one. This. Okay. The Izvini. The Slavic rune is a symbol of forgiveness and peace. It is often used in pagan rituals associated with restless spirits. So she killed the animals for some reason. And then, as in a pagan ritual, I guess, and then she comes back there, carves it in as forgiveness and stuff for killing the animals and maybe leaving restless spirits. Witch's true name is Lilia Dragunova. They were responsible for the tragedy animal killings. They frequently returned to the site of the tragedy to carve the rune Izvini onto the Draken Oak. Hidden sister. To think that the witch was their sister all along, and to think they had a sister to begin with, it's almost unbelievable. Yeah, she was adopted though. I found this document hidden in the archives. It felt like it was meant to be buried, like it wasn't meant to be found. I hope it helps your investigation. Okay. Let's close a couple of things, please. 1943 research note. Transcription. Tree looks to be centuries old. It can be confirmed there are runes on the tree. However, it isn't in chalk like the pictogram suggests. Seems to be carved with some carpenter tool. Remind soldiers not to trample over the area and be careful of the delicate fungi. They are hard to spot, but they are there. Update. Found a letter written a few days after the incident. We'll attach it along with these notes. But there is no attachment. Okay, let me just write down that it's year 1943 and it's research notes number 144. So the tree looks to be centuries old. It can be confirmed that the runes on the tree. However, it isn't chalk. It's carved with carpenter tools. Remind soldiers not to trample. Delicate fungi. Okay. But there's nothing that's been attached. Okay. I found this document hidden in the archives. It felt like it was meant to be buried, like it wasn't meant to be found. I hope it helps. So someone is responsible for the tragedy of something. They are also responsible for the 2 marks on the tree. On the Draken Oak. So someone is responsible for the tragedy. I think this, since it's 1945, that should be the battle. Yeah, 1941 to 1944. Battle of the Forest. Occupied by Germans and was main source of food supply for the battalions. So this has been modified. German documents show that the occupation was not a simple invasion, but to also investigate an event that happened in the late 1800s. These documents were given to the local police force. Oh. Oh. But I think I have this responsible. So someone is responsible for the battle. They're also responsible for the two Slavic rune symbols on the drake and oak. The rumors of the tragedy spread across Europe and led to another tragedy. It spread across Europe and led to another tragedy. Did it... The culprit was caught murdering festival attendees. Oh, maybe this... It spread across Europe and then it... Yeah. No. This and then... The festival massacre was first. Okay, and then... This is also been changed. There was a disturbing rumor that the killer carved the runes into the drake and oak as part of a festival traditions. Although not much evidence suggests this, it was speculated to be the reason why the festival is no longer celebrated. Okay, yeah, so I have that correct. But who is responsible? Were killed during the winter festival. Culprit was caught during festival attendees in front of the drake and oak. They slit their own throat. Hardship, people endured. Wives would take up their husband's tools. Okay. Are any of these different? So this is the one of them, fertility and bountiful harvest, carved onto tools or boundary stones. So it might be a woman who did it, because it's talking about how the women started taking up their men's tools in solidarity. And this says it's fertility and bountiful harvest, and it's carved onto tools. So it might be a woman who did it. Duality, growth. Yeah, it might be a woman. It happened in 1892. Who could it be then? 1892. And the person killed themselves. So someone is responsible for the tragedy of the festival massacre. They're also responsible for the two Slavic rune symbols on the Draken Oak. Yeah, so it has to be a person. Yeah, and I looked at this, yeah. Hmm. For the loss of a few, there is still many. But this is way before, because they are the ones who settled there in 1887. So that's many years before. So how do I find who is responsible for the festival massacre? Hmm. Yeah, traditionally it's a woman's job to mark sites with rune symbols. Yeah, so it has to be a woman. But who? We don't really have any names, do we? Founding member, incredibly spiritual. She set up the winter festival. You think it's her? Hmm. Elena Dragunova is responsible for the tragedy of the festival massacre. They are also responsible for the two Slavic rune symbols on the Draken Oak. The rumors of the tragedy spread across Europe and led to another tragedy, Battle of the Forest. Yeah, once I figured it had to be a woman, then it wasn't that many it could have been, especially since it was that far back. Conspiracy. This must have been the beginning of it all. I've heard of the legend before, but always thought it was an old wives' tale to scare me when I was a child. I think we're uncovering a much deeper conspiracy than we thought. Surely someone must have known all of this. How did these tragedies go unnoticed, unconnected? Good question. So someone intentionally led investigations astray. They ousted someone from the family after the tragedy and covered up Mistakes made by after the tragedy. So, there's two people I'm thinking. Obviously, we're talking about the Dragunov family. It has to be. So, who could have been ousted from the family? I'm thinking first. In my mind, it would be two people. It would be either the witch, who is Lilia, which they said she reportedly ran away in 1965. It could be her. But would that... But that would probably not match up with a tragedy. Does it? I don't remember now. Let's see. Let's look at the tragedies again. So, 1965, this is way too early. 1944, so that's too early as well. So, it was the animal killings that happened. So she might have done the animal killings and then she got ousted out of the family. So... Dragunov family intentionally led investigations astray. They ousted... Because I'm thinking it's either her or it's the mother. But we don't have much information on her. It just says that she supported her son after her husband's disappearance, but she no longer uses their last names. So... But I think maybe they ousted out Lilia, I mean. They ousted Lilia from the family after she killed those animals and covered up mistakes made by him after the tragedy of the summer plague, I think. No. Okay. And covered up mistakes by... But they definitely covered up the mistakes that was made by him. So this might not be Lilia then? Who else would they have ousted? I'm just gonna look up the meaning of it. I'm pretty sure I know it means that they didn't want her in the family anymore. Drive out or expel ya from a position or place. Yeah, that's what I thought. Which she was driven out from her family home and from the town. She started living in the woods. Because no one was really responsible for the battle. That happened because they heard rumors of what happened back in the day with I know. But do you think it's the mother that got ousted? That is because she no longer uses the last name? No. Yeah, because I was so sure that it would be Lilia. After the animal killings. And covered up the mistakes made by Dragunov, the doctor, after the plague. Dragunov family intentionally led investigations astray. Or maybe... Yeah, okay. I was like, it has to be correct. Attila Dragunov intentionally led investigations astray. They ousted Lilia Dragunova from the family after the tragedy. Animal killings and after the tragedy animal killings and covered up mistakes made by the doctor after the tragedy of the summer plague. So I forgot to mention it, but so males have Dragunov, but the females, because I noticed that with all the females, they have Dragunova. So they have like a feminization of the name. You've done enough. I don't think this is a good direction to pursue. Oh, really? You're already done more than enough for the investigation, and your notes have been very helpful. But for now, I'm asking you to stop looking into this. Please leave it be. Really? You must have been incredibly close to, after all, your real name is. Oh. Hang on. Someone I cared about disappeared in the early 90s. Official records are incomplete and inconsistent. Most people stopped asking. I didn't. Hmm. Do you think this is Vola? And she was close to Casimir? No, okay. After all, your real name is Vola Dragunova, isn't it? Because these are the... Hang on. Yeah, that's his glasses. So it's definitely, you must have been incredibly close to Dr. Casimir. Attila was among the missing, and one non-local, which was the doctor. Who could this be then? It's not that many people we could... You think it's Lilia? Nah. No, I didn't think so. Yeah, I don't know who it could be. Do you think it's this, Doctor? No. You must have been incredibly close. Yeah, because it all started that a friend of theirs disappeared, right? So it would have to be the doctor, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Dr. Casimir was also a victim. Yeah, we don't have that many names. And it's not Vola or Lilia? Lysenko. It's a local. Because it's a local address in Kozlovka. V. Lysenko. Yeah, wouldn't that be Vola? But yeah, no, she doesn't use that name anymore. But how could we find her name? Because I can't write things in, I need to... drag it. But yeah, it seems like it's Vola. She's a local, but she no longer... she's incredibly close to the family, but she no longer uses their last name. Yeah, they're Vola. Can I... Because I can't write. No. Yeah, Bola Losinko. Where do I put that in though? Because there's no way, because obviously they were close, because they were married. No, not that. So it can't be that. Wait, really? Oh, really? But obviously she was close to Attila, but wasn't it the other guy? That was the whole point that we started investigating? Okay, confusion. You must have been incredibly close to Attila Dragunov. After all, your real name is Vola Dragunova, isn't it? Wrong assumption. Attila was my husband. He was everything to me. I loved him and I never imagined he would be involved in whatever this is. I hired you because I wanted to know what happened to him, not to learn he might have had a part in it. I don't know everything he did, but he was always a private man. Please don't assume the worst without proof. There is more at play. There is a reason why there are so many disappearances. Deaths. Tragedies. Everything traces back to one place and the roots lead back to the Drake and Oak. The tree is the center of it all and your husband is part of it. There is more at play. There is a reason why there are so many Kozlovka tragedies. Everything traces back to one place and the roots lead back to the Drake and Oak. That tree is the center of it all and your husband is part of it. Ooh. Finish what we started. We come too far to stop now. I suppose we have to see this through. I went through his office. I hate doing this. It feels wrong. But something caught my eye. I don't know why he had this or what it means, but maybe you'll understand better than I do. I'm sorry, Jan, but it is impossible. The land is too reliant on the symbiotic ergo. Without it, we just can't. Maybe decades later something can change, but the damage is too dire. Your proposal will fail. And there's something else. I think I'm being watched. I might know who's behind the recent incidents, but I need to be certain before I say more. I'll explain in person. Huh. But it's impossible. The land is too reliant. Yeah, so that's when his son wanted to start the whole modern farming thing. Yeah, I think so. We can't. Decades later, something can change, but the damage is too dire. A proposal will fail. Something else. I think I'm being watched. I might know who's behind the recent incidents, but I need to be certain before I say more. Well, probably his brother. Just Because he didn't really want to stop the experimentation. Okay, so yeah, Attila sent a letter to Jan about how the modern farming initiative would fail. Oh, a letter to there. Yeah, Attila sent a letter to Jan of how the modern farming initiative will fail. They also knew who was involved in the disappearances. No. July 21st, 1992. When did the dad disappear? In the summer. Yes, I think that is the dad. July, yeah, that would make sense that he sent this right before he disappeared. And he sent it to his son. So I think this is wrong. No. Your proposal will fail. And the recent incidents are the disappearances. Because it says recent. So isn't it the farming? Was proposed, well, no, it was proposed in 1991. It was approved after achieving independence in the same year. Okay. The proposal involved Dr. Ostrovsky, who was invited to the town to undergo research. The proposal was ultimately scrapped in 1992. Okay, so it's not that, actually. It has to be something else then. That something else is gonna fail. But it does say your proposal will fail. So wouldn't that be the agriculture thing? Because It was scrapped in 1992. Hmm. Hmm. I think I need to look it up then, because then I'm not sure. Oh. Okay, so I have most of it correct. It was the disappearances. But it's not his dad who's sending it. I guess I should have taken that from, because maybe if it was his dad, he would have been like, I'm sorry, son, or something like that. It was him before he disappeared. Where is he? There. Oh. That Kazimir Ostrovsky sent a letter to Jan Dragunov of how the modern farming initiative will fail. They also knew who was involved in the 90s disappearance. These are the last of what I could find. They know I've been looking into this. If something happens to me, please find... Oh, that doesn't seem good. Is everything all right? Am I just supposed to put in her name? Are you there? Oh, Town Hall. Hello, I'd like to apologize for Vola Dragonova's actions as of late. Unfortunately, we decided to terminate your contract. Please cease all prior investigations and send your invoice to the Town Hall. Your services will be paid in full. Thank you for your cooperation. My dearest daughter, do not fear the sacrifice your mother made. Take the fungi and you will not only survive, you will thrive. The land will remember your name as it remembers hers. With all the love I can still give your father. 1892. That has to be about... Alina. So they had a daughter. Who was their daughter? 1892. Because the witch, she's adopted. But also, is these the parents of him and his brother and their sister? No, their sister. But she was... Yeah, I guess that would be the right age, wouldn't it? So this is a letter to Lilia then. Do not fear the sacrifice your mother made. Take the fungi and you will not only survive, you will thrive. The land will remember your name as it remembers hers. Is it because Lilia got sick? So she took the fungi? Dear brother, I read her father's letter. Think about it. If the land feeds on what is given, then maybe it doesn't have to end in ruin. Maybe this is how we survive. It's no wonder she never seemed to age. All this time I need to test it. A few small trials just to see. The thought alone has kept me awake for days. I know how it sounds, but this could change everything. Imagine what we could do for the next 50 years. Yeah, so this is the doctor talking to Atla, probably. I read her father's letter. So who is her father then? Because she was adopted, so the Dragunov family can't be her actual parents, so who? The land feeds on what is given, then maybe it doesn't have to end in ruin. Dear brother, time is running out. I think I'll have to start soon. Jan invited some expert after your clumsy mistakes, but I think I can handle them. Perhaps your trials were not failures. You said they passed in their sleep. It might be the best solution to make it as painless as possible. It's the best we can do for what we were asking of them. For the loss of a few, there is still many. Yeah. So this is definitely one of the brothers. I think I would go with it being him, but dang. It is Atla then. Attila. No. Jan? Who is this Jan Dragunov? Is that you? Wait, what? Why would it be Jan? That was a good guess, or perhaps you're simply more perceptive than I gave you credit for. Tell me, what's driving you now? Curiosity, guilt, or the need to be right, no matter the cost? What? But I thought he wanted to get rid of the mushroom, or the fungi. Why is he stopping us from helping his mom? What? Now I'm confused again. You're probably the only one to understand. Too much blood has been spilled in Kozlovka, and I didn't know what we were uncovering. But now we do. Yeah, too much blood has been spilled in Kozlovka. Vola and I didn't know what we were uncovering, but now we do, and the world deserves to know. Stubborn as a rock, you are naive to think that simply telling everyone is going to solve anything. Truth doesn't heal, it spreads, it divides, it consumes. Fine, I'll let you continue your investigation. You already have everything you need. Perhaps you'll understand the position I've been forced into. Start from the beginning. Oh. Wait, what letter are we talking about? Are we supposed to start from the very beginning? Or are we talking about these? Well, I think it was written to Lilia from her father. No. Which is suggested at the festival massacre. Was a ritual to cultivate more symbiotic ergo in order to treat Lilia's illness. This letter was lost to time, only to be found during the tragedy of the disappearances. No, okay. I knew it was one of them. The letter was written by Bohdan Dragunov, addressed to Lilia Dragunova. It suggests that the festival massacre was a ritual to cultivate more symbiotic ergo in order to treat Lilia Dragunova's illness. This letter was lost to time, only to be found during the tragedy Battle of the Forest. Oh yeah, because they said that they found a letter. That's right, that's right. I remember now when we used that unlocking thing so that we could see more of what was said on the page originally. It said that the Germans found a page. That's right. But they said that Lilia was adopted. So when was she adopted then? She must have been pretty young then, right? When she was adopted? For her adoptive parents to sacrifice for her like that. Continue. Okay. Creep. Attempting the ritual. Attempting the ritual, someone caused the tragedy of... Oh, yeah. Dragunov caused the summer plague. It failed to achieve results when they were caught. Took the letter and sent it to... In their excitement, someone caused a tragedy. Oh no? Hang on. read her father's letter. I think about it. If the land feeds on what is given, then maybe it doesn't have to end in ruin. Maybe this is how we survive. It's no wonder she never seemed to age. I need to test it. A few small trials to see. The thought alone has kept me awake for days, okay? Sent a letter to his brother, maybe? Because it says, "Dear brother, I've read father's letter." So it seems that Attila sent it to the doctor. Yeah. Attempting the ritual Lilia Dragunova caused the tragedy animal killings. It failed to achieve results. When they were caught, Attila Dragunov took the letter and sent it to Dr. Dragunov. In their excitement, Dr. Dragunov caused the tragedy summer plague. Keep going, you're almost there. After the incident, you invited... Oh yeah. Like, you? Me? Huh? You invited Dr. Casimir to research the symbiotic ergo. While research was underway... When research was underway... Dr. Matslav started the ritual once again, causing the tragedy. Oh. Isn't it the summer plague? Or is it the disappearances? Sensed something was wrong and tried to warn you, but someone intercepted the message and had them killed. This alerted you of the crime. Okay, so Ostrovsky sensed something was wrong and tried to warn you, but... Did he intercept it and had them killed? Or did Attila have them killed? This alerted you of the crime. Okay. After the incident, you invited Casimir. That should be correct. While research was underway. So it has to be... where am I? It has to be this then. Okay. And then I think it is... No. Intercepted the message and had them killed. This alerted you of the crime. So while research was underway, the doctor must have started the ritual again, right? Or do you think... Nah, it can't be, but do you think Lilia started the ritual again? Which caused the disappearances? And she... Mom. No. No, come on. Okay. Talented mycologist went missing during his time in Kozlovka. When the mycology community asked for his research in the forest, the local government refused to release it due to sensitive information. This has to be correct. Or do you think the brother started the... The brother started it again. After the incident, he invited Dr. Casimir Ostrovsky to research the symbiotic ergo. While research was underway, Attila Dragunov started the ritual once again. Wait, did I say that right? While research was underway, yeah, started the ritual, causing the tragedy of the 19th disappearance. Dr. Casimir sensed something was wrong and tried to warn you, but Attila intercepted the message and had them killed. This alerted you of the crime. Yeah, it makes sense if his brother and the other doctor was both busy with the research. Then he started trying doing the oh god, sacrifices again, the rituals to try, because that's what worked back in the day when their mother did it to save his sister. Well done. I'm assuming you already figured out what happened next. I'm not sure. There isn't enough evidence, but I can make a calculated guess. You killed... I think he killed his dad. He was the last victim of the 19th disappearance. Yeah. There isn't enough evidence, but I can make a calculated guess. You killed Attila, and he was the last victim of the 90s disappearance. My father. He may have been my father, but by the end he wasn't the man I knew. When I learned what he'd done, what he intended to continue, I had to end it. It was foolish, because in the end the burden fell onto me. The irony of it all. Some truths rot everything they touch. Do you understand why the past had to stay buried? The town was built on death, on rituals, disguised as tragedies. I'm feeding on it ever since. Okay, well, they're definitely too reliant on the... Come on. Symbiote. Do you think it's Kozlovka? Yeah. Was either that or the family itself, but it's the whole town that needs it because of their agriculture. Kozlovka is too reliant on the symbiotic ergo. The town was built on death, on rituals, disguised as tragedies, and it's been feeding on that ever since. Do what you must. Casimir only confirmed what I was too scared to admit myself. The town is built on blood, and to an extent the country of Sarnava. If we stop the process, people will starve. But what's a measly few to sacrifice only every 50 years? It was a curse inherited by my family, but I've grown tired of the charades. I think in my heart I wanted someone to know. I won't stop you from doing what you think is right. I only wished my mother wouldn't need to know. Yeah, but didn't it start with your family? Like your grandmother was the first one to do it. She sacrificed herself for the fungi so that your aunt could get saved. Because no one heard about this before that. That was the first tragedy. Publish the article, delete the evidence, burn the tree. Burn the tree. It needs to stop. Thank you for doing what I spent my whole life wishing I could. But every time I tried, I thought of what dying would mean, and I faltered. I was too scared, but now I've lived a much longer life than I needed. If Kozlovka survives, I pray it remembers you more kindly than it will remember me. Lilia. Ooh, that was a cool game. I really liked that. It was very difficult at times, but that might also just be me. But yeah, that was cool. Can I do it again though? Can I do the different endings? Thank you for playing. The project was a labor of love, and we hope you enjoyed the experience as much as we enjoyed creating it. Your game is saved just before the last report. Yeah, feel free to explore other endings. Yes, exactly what I wanted to hear. Let's continue. Do you understand why a past had to be buried? Yeah, so it's just Kozlova is too reliant on the fungi. Okay, let's see. Yeah, my first instinct was burn that fucking tree so it never has to happen again. Do what you must. Okay. Let's just go up. Delete the evidence. Are you there? Things are quiet. The fields are green again. The harvest looks like it'll be strong this year. My son hasn't said much, but he brushed it all off as a misunderstanding. Guess some things don't change, but I can't help but feel like there's still something wrong. I know you've not replied to my previous emails, but please give me a sign. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the least satisfying one for sure. So it just continues. It will just continue on. Every 50 years, people will continue to get sacrificed so that this small town can have a bountiful harvest. That's pretty fucked. Let's see the last ending then. Yeah, this was a really cool little game. I took an hour more than an average. It said average, like you should be able to finish the game in 1.5 to 2 hours. And I've almost done 3. So, but you know, not everyone is that smart. I mean, I can be clever at times, but sometimes some things are just harder than others. Yeah, Kozlovka is too reliant on the symbiote. The town is built on death. Do what you must. So to me, I think so far at least, I like the burning of the tree the best. Because it sets everyone free basically, and the people, they will have to find a better way to live. They will either have to work harder on getting bountiful harvests and stuff, or they will have to just move from this town, or maybe grow other things. But that at least set everyone free from it. So let's publish the article. Admin Office. Detention Notice. Unauthorized Disclosure. Sarnova Internal Security has flagged you for unauthorized disclosure of classified material. Your residence is under surveillance. Agents will arrive within 2 hours to take you into custody. Processing will occur at the National Center. One phone call will be permitted. Remain at your registered residence until an agent arrives to avoid escalation. Administrative office. Yeah, the burning of the tree ending was definitely the best. I'm glad I chose that as the ending, that I was like, this is the ending I choose. Because the other one is just, it goes on as always. We will keep sacrificing people, and this one is, you get put in jail. That sucks. Well, we got all the endings, so that's really cool. I really love when games do it like that, where you can go back to right before you do the last choice, and then you can do it over again and get all the endings. I really love that. So yeah, that was a really good game. I really liked the style of it, and that it was all done on the machines. I love when we get to do investigative stuff and do it through a computer and stuff like that. I really like those kinds of games. That's why I really liked the Root Trees Are Dead and The Operator. Both of those, highly recommend. But yeah, thank you so much for watching my playthrough of Lost Wiki Kozlovka. And I'll see you in whatever next I do. Bye!